Wyan dragged herself inside the campus, though all she wanted to do was to curl up under the blanket and soak in the silence. The students were buzzing with energy. The morning light was too bright that it stung her sleep-deprived eyes. Her stomach growled in hunger, but she paid less to no attention to it. She ignored the headache that was slowly building behind her eyes. Her focus was on something else, or rather someone, Jungkook. She couldn't forget the look on his face, like he was holding on to a lot of pain and tons of emotions inside, like she had broken something inside him, like she had broken him. I'm surprised you showed up. I thought you would hide away like every other time. Wyan looked up, startled. Emma darted a stunned gaze at her as if quietly reading her without asking anything. Wyan didn't fail to notice her distant attitude. The coldness in her tone was too heavy to ignore. It was obvious that she was still upset. What should I do to make you normal? Her words felt forced, like it took her strength to even speak. Emma didn't respond immediately, just stared at her in silence. Are you normal? You look like you have been rotting on a hospital bed for months. Wyan sighed, averting her gaze away, afraid that Emma might break through her facade, and she wouldn't have no alternative except bearing her hurt in front of her. Let's go, we have classes to attend. She tried to walk past her, but a firm grip on her wrist stopped her. She squeezed her eyes shut, scared of the confrontation. Your fears always hold you back from opening up and seeing life without judging. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you are losing everything by holding on to something that only gives you pain. Violet lowered her gaze when Emma stepped in front of her. She had always been scared to talk things out, scared that the truth might make her vulnerable. I wish that when you realize it, it wouldn't be too late. She held onto her shoulders and gave a soft squeeze. Her touch, warm and comforting, lingered a little longer. That's when Wyan's gaze caught Jungkook stepping inside along with Leo. Her breath hissed when their eyes met, but he looked away as quickly. Unlike other mornings, Jungkook didn't stop by, passed a smug remark, and greeted her with his usual smirk. Instead, he walked past them without uttering a word. Wyan's eyes remained stuck to his back until he turned around the corner and disappeared into the classroom. She expected it after her actions last night, but she didn't expect it to affect her that much. So much so that it gripped around her chest, making her breath unsteady. Emma and Leo exchanged a glance, sensing the tension that lingered, too heavy to ignore. They noticed the shift in Wyan's expression but decided not to point it out. Are you sure you are okay? You have been oddly quiet, she asked, voice laced with worry, as she watched her best friend quietly poking at her food. I am fine, her reply felt forced, made up even, the kind when we had a lot to say but we covered it all up with a I am fine response. But you don't look fine, and you are not even eating. Vaya lifted her gaze to meet Emma's concerned eyes. She smiled, a small twitch of lips which looked fake. I don't feel like eating anything, not in the mood. She dropped her spoon in her plate and got up without a word. For a moment, her gaze wandered towards Jungkook, who sat with his teammates a few tables away from her. 3 days since he had shut himself down completely. He had turned cold, indifferent, and disturbingly silent, as if he were close yet far away, out of everyone's reach. Emma observed her silently. She shook her head in disappointment. She could see everything, yet her best friend was being stubborn, refusing to accept the obvious. You wanna go or you wanna stare at him more? Vine turned her gaze away immediately, caught in the act. She cleared her throat and picked up her plate. I wasn't staring at no one. Sure you weren't. Your pride is too big to accept it. Her tone held a mocking edge, clearly not pleased by her response. It's not pride, but protection. I don't want to give someone the access to ruin me. I saw my mother suffering all her life. I won't walk on her steps and live the same life. Not everyone is like your father, Ryan. She snapped, but her eyes widened in realization. She reached for her hands, squeezing them softly in apology. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Her words trailed off, voice softer than before. Ryan's lips twitched into a bitter but pained smile. It's okay. I know you are right, but I wish I was strong enough to accept it. My life would have been easier. Emma, please, I wanna go home. I have assignments to complete. She pleaded as Emma clutched her wrist tighter, refusing to let her leave. The assignments. They are almost done with the practice. Let me kiss my boyfriend goodbye and then we'll go together. Van was ready with a reply to protest, but one glare from Emma and she sealed her lips immediately. For the next 10 minutes, she sat in silence. Her gaze unknowingly followed Jungkook, even though he didn't spare her a glance. Oh, how much she missed the mischievous glances. Ever since that night in her apartment, he stopped looking at her, except some accidental eye contacts. If his silence hurt, his avoidance hurt even more. It tore through her beating organ like a sharp dagger, creating an open wound which only she could feel. But didn't she call for it herself? She wanted him to leave her alone, to not bother her, and when he was doing exactly that, why did she feel like she was falling apart? Why did she feel incomplete? Oh, I hate exams. Her brows furrowed as she tried to balance a pile of books she had just rented from the library. The books were heavy. She was struggling to balance them in her hold, but she tripped on her own steps and stumbled forward. The books fell from her hands. Papers flew in the air, but she was secured in someone's arms. With eyes squeezed shut, she held on to the first thing that came in contact with her palms. Once she braced herself, she slowly opened her eyes. The first thing she saw was Jungkook's gaze lingering at her face. The usual coldness was gone, leaving behind worry. One look was what she anticipated. Now that he was really looking at her, she felt her heart skipping a beat. Another beat when she realized she was holding onto his shoulders for support. But it was gone before she could fully ground herself in his warmth. He steadied her on her feet and walked off without sparing her another glance. However, she felt hard to ignore the way her heart raced at his close proximity. Everything about him was affecting her more than she was ready to admit. He was affecting her, and she feared she was already walking on the same path she once swore to never look at. What's up with you, dude? I notice you haven't been yourself lately. Everything good? Jungkook let out an exasperated sigh, wiping off his sweat. He sank into a seat beside Leo, staring into nothing, his mind swirled with a whirlwind of thoughts. Just a little disturbed, nothing important. He shrugged nonchalantly, but his shoulders hunched with the weight of words he refused to speak. No, really, talk to me. What's wrong? You and Ryan have been acting differently. My girl is worried sick about you both. Leo came straight to the point. Jungkook refused to meet his eyes, staring at everything except him. Ryan, her name itself made his chest tighten. Earlier, it used to give him butterflies. It used to make him feel things. But now, it only left a bitter feeling. Nothing is up with me. She wanted me to not bother her, and I'm doing that. I'm staying away from her. His lips twitched in a sad smile as he finally held Leo's curious gaze. You do realize that she is the same girl you have been dreaming about since last year? You gave 6 months to a sport you dislike just so you could ask her out. What do you want to say? He whispered, unable to comprehend the hint behind his words. Nothing. It's just hard to digest that you gave up on her. I mean, you said you would go above and beyond to show her how much you feel for her. Jungkook chuckled, a dry, humorless sound that vibrated from the deep confines of his chest. I can't fight with her for her now, can I? He responded with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. His own words broke his heart apart, yet he spoke as a form of acceptance. He trailed off, unable to find words to speak. He knew his friend was in love, but he didn't know how deep his feelings had gotten over time. I'm fine, Leo. Learning to be fine. Yeah, it breaks my heart that she didn't feel the same, but I can't force her, right? My feelings were only mine, and I think it's time I let them go. The words felt foreign to him. Letting go was never an option for him, but he decided to do it for himself, for her. You think you can move on? Loving someone so passionately and then letting them go is not easy. It won't be easy for you either. His words hung in the air like an unmatchable truth. It sure isn't easy. It takes time, months, years, and sometimes a lifetime. He chuckled, glancing at Leo, who looked horrified. Dude, you're scaring me. We are good with brain rot bullshit. This philosophical talk is giving me chills. Let's just crash at my place tonight and have a toast to your first heartbreak. Jungkook laughed, shaking his head. Though the egg still shimmered, he felt light after getting the load off his chest. Look, what have you done to yourself, Ryan? Why did you push him away if he matters that much, huh? Her hold tightened on Ryan, who sobbed in her arms. A week, and she was devastated. His ignorance, his coldness had struck something open inside her, a feeling she wasn't ready to admit, an emotion she was suppressing for so long. I was scared. I thought he would leave me just like my father did to my mother. Her voice cracked as a loud sob tore through her throat. Not every person is like your father, Ryan. Jungkook isn't like him. You need to let go of your fears. They are doing nothing except holding you back from feeling happiness. She held on to her protectively as if trying to take her pain away. Ryan buried her face in the crook of her neck, sobbing softly. Just try living your life without what ifs for once. I promise you won't be disappointed. You had borne the load for long enough. It's time you throw it away and feel free. She glided her fingers through her hair, soft and slow, if that could make her feel any better. Just admit to your feelings and let yourself go. Give yourself a chance, darling. You too deserve to feel the joy of life. Emma's word rang in her ears again and again. She closed her eyes, letting herself melt within the comfort of her best friend's embrace. Minutes passed. Her sobs died down to soft sniffs. The pain had subsided just a little. She pulled back, wiping off the dampness with the sleeves of her hoodie. Emma's worried eyes wandered on her face before settling on her red, swollen eyes. Am I falling for him? That's why everything about him affects me more than necessary. Falling? Babe, you have passed the stage long ago. You are in the fallen stage. Wine girl, curling her fist in her lap. You have fallen for him, Wine. That's the truth you have been running away from. But you can only avoid it. You can't deny it. Emma explained calmly, but the calm inside Wine had blown off. One truth in her world had turned upside down. Was she ready to admit it? Maybe yes, maybe not. I need to go. She jolted up from her spot, almost toppling over the coffee table in the process. But where are you going, Ryan? It's raining, she called out worried, but Ryan was already wearing her shoes at the door. To see Jungkook. I don't know if it's already too late, but I don't want to miss the chance. Even rain can't hold me back. And just like that, she bolted, this time towards what her heart desired, not away from it. By the time Ryan reached Jungkook's house, it was raining heavily. She parked her yellow scooter and rushed to his front door. She pressed the doorbell rather impatiently, as if she wouldn't want to delay it even for a second. After a few moments, the door clicked open, revealing Jungkook. Wine froze in the moment, forgetting everything in the fleeting moment. Nothing mattered, just her and him existed, staring at each other frozen in time. "What are you doing here at this hour?" he asked, his voice calm, but the coldness lingered beneath. She could feel the distance between them. "Can we talk?" "No." His response was instant, no hesitation, not an ounce of doubt. "Please, listen to me, Jungkook, for once," she pleaded, shifting on her feet in desperation. But Jungkook shook his head, already closing the door. "I don't want to, just leave." Despite her protest, he closed the door on her face. She stood there, hands curled beside her. His rejection hurt. It wavered her resolution just a little, but she wasn't ready to back down yet. Not today. She banged on the door like a mad person. "Talk to me. Open the door, John Jungkook. This is my last chance. I don't know if I would be able to speak after this or not. Just open the door and hear me out." She waited for a few moments. No movement, nothing. "Fine, if you wanna be stubborn, let it be. I'll be standing here, outside in the rain until you hear me out." She hopped and walked back to her scooter. Folding her arms, she leaned against it. The rain fell on her, cold and sharp. The thunder roared above, but she stuck to her decision. "I can't believe this crazy woman," he whispered to himself, peeking out of the window to find her standing outside, soaking in rain. "I don't care." He blew out a breath and plopped on the couch, feigning indifference. Minutes ticked slower than usual. He tapped his feet against the floor. One glance at the window and other at the clock. 5 minutes passed, then 10. He squirmed. The bouncy couch suddenly felt uncomfortable. He rose to his feet, unable to bear the restlessness, and paced in the living room. "Maybe she is gone," he muttered, drawing the curtains to look outside, but to his surprise, she was still there, shivering in the torrential weather. Vine hugged herself as a cold wind blew past her. Her clothes clung to her skin, wet and uncomfortable. She flinched every time a lightning struck or a thunder roared above. Her restraint was slowly crumbling. For a moment she thought of going back, but she shook it off as quickly. She wouldn't step back, not tonight, not when she had finally decided to choose herself and her happiness over her doubts and insecurities. A smile twisted on her lips when she heard the door open. She straightened up when Jungkook showed up. His stern gaze bent her in place. "Are you stupid or what? I told you I don't want to talk. Just hop on your yellow scooter and go back right now," he yelled through the pitter patter of rain. Vian smiled and shook her head. "And I told you I wouldn't go back until you hear me out. I'm a woman of my word. You know that too." Jungkook shied in exhaustion. He clicked his tongue, shaking his head in helplessness. "Fine, do whatever the hell you want. Stay here and fall sick. I don't care." And he slammed the door shut again. Why leaned back on a scooter, a small pout forming on her lips. "Can't you just melt a little and talk to me?" Barely a few minutes passed before the door opened again. This time Jungkook stepped out, holding an umbrella over his head. Vian barely held back her grin when he approached her with quick steps. She stood upright, ready to talk to him. But he grabbed her wrist and started dragging her towards his house, and she let him, grinning like an idiot behind him. "You are a stupid, stubborn, and outrageous woman. And impulsive too. Do I have to explain that you can fall sick from the little stunt you try to pull? Does your brain only work to spew insults at me? I can't believe this." He murmured profanities as he pulled her inside the house and locked the door. "Jungkook, listen." She fell silent when he held up his palm. He walked towards the stairs, and when Ryan took a step after him, he glared at her. I have just vacuumed my entire house. I swear if you follow me and wet the floor, I'll make you mop it again. She scrunched her nose but didn't follow him as he went upstairs. He returned with a towel and a pair of fresh clothes. Go and change. The washroom is second room to your left. She smiled and took the clothes from him. His care was enough to give her a green signal. There was still some chances of amendments. By the time she returned after changing into his clothes, he had prepared coffee. He sat on the couch, waiting for her to join him. She plopped beside him, a smile edged across her face. Are you ready to talk? Jungkook slid a cup of coffee towards her, but he refused to look at her. Wan grabbed the cup, her fingers curling around it. The warmth felt soothing to her cold fingers. Is there something to talk about? I guess you made it very clear that night. His face tilted, his gaze locking with hers. I'm sorry about that night. You are right, I'm impulsive. I acted upon my instincts, forgetting that you were directly involved in that too. No excuse, I'm sorry. Jungkook stared at her silently, his doubts swimming on his tongue. He contemplated whether to voice them out or to swallow them back. Why did you do that, Ryan? I want to know why you always push people away. Apart from Emma, I never really saw you interacting with anyone. Why is that? She inhaled sharply. Talking about her vulnerabilities had always been hard for her, but it was now or never. It was her last chance. Because I'm scared. Scared to trust someone and end up with a broken heart. People scare me, Jungkook. She whispered, staring at the yellow liquid in the cup. My mother fell in love with a rich guy. He promised her moon and stars, and she believed in him. When she told him that she was pregnant with me, he left. Her eyes welled up as she remembered her mother's pained face when she recited this story to her years ago. He left her, saying he was fooling around. He wanted nothing to do with me or my mother. She exhaled a shaky breath as she tried to keep her emotions in control. Jungkook blinked, stunned by the newfound information. Nobody knew about her family except Emma. Nobody knew how she held so much behind her rude girl image. For years, I have seen her suffering in silence. Nobody blamed him but my mother. They blamed her for falling for a wrong guy. They blamed her for having me. They blamed her for being a single mother, as if she made that choice willingly. She chuckled sadly, remembering all those times when her mother worked day and night to make ends meet. The same woman who now runs a successful bakery back in her hometown. It isn't just about that. In school, my hard work was overlooked. My achievements were handed to someone else just because their daddies had money. This unfair treatment stayed with me through my entire life. So much so that I was forced to believe that rich people are opportunists. They thrive off your hard work and laugh at your suffering. Until I learned that almost all humans are like that. She shrugged as if she hadn't just dropped a bomb on Jungkook. He said step on his spot, more affected than her. And you thought I was one of those rich opportunists? She bit her lip as she lifted her head to face him. Slowly but hesitantly she nodded. I know it was wrong of me to judge you. Not all people are same, but I have realized it now. He gave a stiff nod deep in his thoughts. Now that he knew where she was coming from, he didn't feel as bad as before. Someone who had grown up seeing the differences between rich and poor would tend to believe them. That was what she did. She believed in what she had seen around her. Her arrogance was probably a way of her to protect herself. Say something, anything. Do you forgive me? Or you want me to get my ass up and get out of your house? She asked, shifting on a seat. Jungkook bit back a smile and looked at her, still carrying that cold look which made her heart sink. I'll do anything, but please forgive me. I'm really regretting. I can even do sit-ups if that's what you want. Do it. Huh? She had said that out of desperation. She didn't expect him to actually make her do that. Sit-ups. Do it and I'll probably think about forgiving you. He eyed her as she smiled nervously and slowly pushed off the couch. Okay, I'm gonna do it then. She murmured, her hand slowly reached out to hold her ears. She took it slow, hoping, praying he would stop her, but his stop never came. His eyes followed her silently as she sank to the floor once, twice, until she counted to 10, and then she sprawled on the floor, breathing heavily. I can't do more, the rest I'll do tomorrow. He chuckled, extending a hand towards her. She kept her hand on his outstretched one, and he pulled her to stand on her feet. Just stay for tonight, you can sleep in the guest room. He spoke, already walking towards the stairs. But am I forgiven or not? He halted on his steps. His eyes, amused and mischievous, turned to her. Earn it. 10 sit-ups count as 20% forgiveness. You still have to work for another 80%. She groaned, throwing her head back. You are deliberately being hard on me. No, huh? Just giving you a test of your own medicine. Hey, good morning, Mr. John. She stopped in front of him, hiding something behind her back. Morning, did you eat something wrong today? Why so smiley and cheerful? That was one way to start an argument, but she ignored it. I'll pretend I didn't hear you because I don't want to ruin my morning. After a long time, I woke up all happy and cheerful. Let me be before I ruin yours as well. Jungkook rolled his eyes but couldn't help a smile from blooming on his lips. It felt good, better even, having to talk to her after such a long time. Though only a week had passed, it felt like an eternity had rolled down since they last talked to each other without having their doubts. I brought you a surprise. Jungkook's eyes visibly whitened in shock. Surprise? From when? The day should officially be announced as the world's most shocking day. Ta-da! She brought her hands forward and, or rather, the bouquet she had been hiding from him. I didn't know about your favorite flowers, so I just gathered every flower and made a bouquet out of them. I hope you like it. She forwarded it towards him. Jungkook stayed in silence, slowly taking it from her. Blood rushed to his cheeks, shading them in hues of pink and red. Jungkook, are you blushing? She asked, smiling teasingly. He palmed his warm cheeks and cleared his throat. Actually, nobody gave me flowers before, so it just touched my heart. Thank you so much, Ryan. Her eyes softened. A subtle smile danced on her lips. Then I'm honored to be the first person to gift you flowers. The spark in his eyes were unavoidable as he gazed at the flowers with admiration. By the way, how much forgiveness I earned by this? Jungkook raised a brow, smirking at her. How much do you think you have earned? At least 50%. She replied almost instantly as if she had already decided that. No, only 20%. Saying so, he made his way towards the classroom with wine hot on his tail. Hey, that's not fair. At least make it 40%. 30 last, no more, no less. His tone left no room for argument. Have lunch with me? She asked, or rather demanded, blocking his way when he tried to walk past her table to join his teammates. What if I say no, please? She pleaded, batting her eyes innocently. And that was all it took for him to pull out a chair and taking a seat on it. Wine beamed with happiness as he slid in the seat beside him. I bought your favorite lunch. She slid a plate towards him. Jungkook eyed the dishes on it. Everything was of his liking. He smiled to himself. He would deny if he said he wasn't liking this special treatment. was enjoying it way too much. Ryan watched him silently as he took a bite. His forehead creased as the flavors melted in his mouth. How many points do you think I gained after this? He paused and gave her a side eye. She grinned sheepishly, leaning back on her chair. Are you doing all this by her to just so that you can gain my forgiveness? I don't want hollow efforts, Ryan. She reached out, placing her hand on top of his, putting a full stop to his doubt. I'm doing all this because you and your forgiveness mean a lot to me, more than I have ever admitted it. Her fingers curled around his, soft and gentle, so that he could feel it wasn't fake. It was as real as the moment. 15. I deduct the 5 because you disturbed me while I was eating. Ryan's jaw dropped in disbelief, a look of betrayal marring her face. You can't do this to me. Give me those 5 points. I'll deduct another 5 if you disturb me again. She fell silent, but her glare still bored through his skull. You didn't bring your car today? She appeared out of nowhere when Jungkook was walking out of the campus. Sent it for servicing, he replied, his shoulders taut with exhaustion. But her beaming smile erased half of it within a moment. Great, come, I'll walk you home. He raised an eyebrow, biting back a laugh. It felt like they had switched roles. You will walk me home? Yeah, what if you forget the way your woes get kidnapped? There has to be someone to protect you now. And who will protect me? You? Ijakal, amused and impressed by her. He liked this new side of her. This open, cheerful, carefree wine was making him happy. Yes, now let's go. I mean, follow me. She walked off while he stared at her in admiration, or maybe affection. Did I finally score 100 after this? Am I forgiven now? Jungkook craned his neck to look at her, a soft smile on his lips. What now? Are you going to be like before, Miss Spitfire? Vaya stopped in her tracks suddenly, making him stop as well. His brow furrowed in confusion. I missed this, she whispered, happy but overwhelmed with the rush of emotions. Missed what? Missed hearing Miss Spitfire from you. I missed you, Jungkook. She turned towards him, admitting her feelings without hesitation. I know I hurt you. I'm really ashamed and guilty for that. But can we start over from the beginning? Jungkook's chest swelled with happiness. Are you giving me a chance? Nope, I'm asking for one. He took a step towards her, then another long step until he was embracing her in a tight hold. He swiped her off the ground, burying his face in her hair. Yes, we can. In fact, we will. We will start over. He whispered against her hair, tightening his grip as if he could hold her even closer. Her arms hooked around his neck, face hidden in the crook of his neck. I won't hurt you again, I promise. Please do not ignore me ever again. I don't admit it, but you have become very important for me. I won't, I promise, he replied softly as he put her back on her feet, pulling back slightly but not letting go of her completely. You still have some points to earn. I'll give it all if you cook me a nice dinner tonight. I'm craving a homemade meal, but I'm too lazy to cook. Ryan chuckled, pinching his cheeks. I don't know why people call you a bad boy. You're such a baby girl. Well, let's keep it that way. Bad boy for others and baby girl for you.